And welcome back. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith, stupid Keith, I hate Keith, dumb Keith, scammer Keith, pump and dumper Keith, whatever you call me. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. New week, new chance, new Tuesday. Let's get right off into it. Welcome to Crypto Before Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing to hit like over here. While you're there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. If you're over on Rumble, shout out to the guys over on Rumble. Follow along. You can click there. You can repost it while you're there. And if you're over on X, go give us a like and a repost. I would super appreciate it. Shout out to all you guys who do so. Shout out to Philip. Shout out to Lee Roberts, Crypto Big D. Shout out to Dekai in Hawaii. What's up, Bulldog Bandit? Good to see you. Shout out to Crypto Big D over on Rumble. Appreciate you guys over there watching. Like I said, we really like Rumble. That's our alternative viewing platform. If you're watching over on YouTube, I appreciate it as well. Go give us a like while you're there. And let's get off into the thumbnail topic, shall we? What are we going to talk about? So, the thumbnail is a little bit clickbait and a little bit not, right? I want to express some interesting views. I've seen recently a lot of people try to tie in their narrative to what's going on. Well, why is it happening, Keith? Well, I don't understand. Well, why? Why are we going down? Why are we going up? Why is the price moving? Well, I've said this a bazillion times. Multiple different streams. People don't they don't listen. So let's get off into it. Is Bitcoin going up? Is crypto pumping? I got a, hold on a second. I got an applause button too I can hit. Is crypto pumping? Because there are alien spaceships flying above nuclear facilities in the United States? That's got to be it, right?
Wrong.
Is it pumping up? Because this is Pumptober. And that's what happens in October is we pump up and we run and we go up. And that's exactly why this is happening.
Wrong.
Is it because there are no kings in the United States? Because we had a rally. And by God, that's what did it. It was that rally. I know it. That's what had to have been it.
Wrong.
It must be the Atlas 31 meteor barreling towards Earth a little more than the day before, which is slowly devaluing the dollar value. And as the dollar value, that's got to be the reason the XRP and Bitcoin and everything else going up, right?
Wrong.
What do you mean? Well, that's got to be it. Maybe the spaceships are above the nuclear facilities, stealing Bitcoin by mining it from the U.S. government that has been seized from scammers all across the world. That's got to be it. I mean, I think, if you ask me, that's it.
Bruh.
Well, then what is it? Slow down for a second. Maybe none of that's it, and it's just price action, and we can go over it step by step. Or must you attach your narrative to it and make that the catalyst of your move, the reason of your move for it to go up? Maybe it's just normal price action, and you're just finding a reason for your emotions to matter. Maybe that's it. Do you think maybe that might be right, or definitely not the reason at all? No. I'm right. I know what I'm talking about. That's got to be the reason. I say all this to say, stop trying to fit your narrative around the price. It doesn't work, never has, and it never will. Grow up. It doesn't help to jump on a train and say, well, I know why. This is why. Then it has to work every single time, or you're wrong. Does it work every single time? No, it doesn't. So then stop. That's subjective of you to do, to say this must be the reason. No, not yet. Not at all. Actually, it doesn't have to be that way at all. In fact, I would challenge you and say, likely this is just normal, and you should get with it. We had a big fall off, and now we're slowly trying to retrace our steps back up here, and we haven't quite gotten out of the woods yet. That's what I would say. But hey, people don't really listen to me, so let's get on with it, shall we? And we shall. So I've got Bitcoin pulled up here. You can see the price action as we're watching. Today, we were up 3% at one point.
Damn.
Not bad, right? Not bad. We were kicking ass and taking names there for a second, weren't we? I have some more gifts. Where are they? Yeah. We were doing this earlier. We were blasting off. We were ripping and gripping. And then just before that, price action turned into trash. I had some cool sound effects to go with it. I don't know, dude. Oh, here we go. No, that one don't work. That's a Discord button. That's what that is. I can work on fixing that one, I guess. It's all good. No big deal. Nonetheless, we were up 3% earlier today. Things were looking pretty good. People were feeling themselves and hyping themselves up. It turns out all we did was wipe some liquidations off the board. And what am I talking about? Well, here you go. Here's the 7-day liquidation chart. And if you remember last stream, there were a ton of charts jumping up over the green wave that you see right here. Now, I want to note there's still $1.3 billion worth of shorts and about $175 or $177 million worth of longs. So it's still about a 10-to-1 ratio of longs over shorts, but that's because shorts have had a long time to pile in. So they've been sitting there for quite a while. And note that some of the higher leverage shorts have started to back off here. All right. They've started to take profits and sort of ease their way out of this rather than be in the big long positions that they were, big short positions that they were, where those big spikes were. Now, as you see, there are some long spikes up over the yield curve here. You can kind of see that curve is that red line that swoops down right there. And there are only a few spiking over. Now, there are some longs, there are some shorts still spiking over up to like 112, up to like 114. And if you go look at the chart, I've got those drawn for you here. That level right here is 116, where some spikes were up. And then this 113, 112 level that we just saw a moment ago, that was killing it. And now, over a very, very quick period of time, wasted. It was doing pretty well, and things slowed down. I don't know why my gift stopped working. Oh, I see. I'm on the wrong one. There we go. I don't know how I hit that button, but it's whatever. There we go. That level got wasted, and another group of shorts has jumped in right there, started to pile in afterwards, which has now drove our price back down below. Come on, TradingView. This has been happening all day, by the way. Come on, TradingView. There we go. Below the 21 EMA, below all these moving averages. This simply went up, gave them a kiss, and has since wicked back down. Now, I will say this is our second day in a row over the 8 EMA, which is promising. And since I've started to move out of heavier risk assets like altcoins and started to move back into more of low risk assets like Bitcoin, I'm probably going to continue doing that. And I'm going to look for some buy positions here amongst all this weird price action. I'd like to bring my average price down a lot on a lot of things if I can. And Bitcoin looks to be one that's sort of held the test of time here, even after falling under the 200 moving average on last stream. It has since jumped back over the 200 moving average, which is sort of an easy bear bull filter. Being over the 200 moving average is crucial. And as you see, we did jump back over that 200 moving average right there over the last couple of days, which is excellent, which is a good thing. We want to see that continue to happen. As long as it can continue to happen, I'm here for it. What we cannot see is that thing slip back under that 200 moving average again, because if that happens, that is brutal. We don't want to see that back under there. That's just showing you she's cooked. Shout out Matoshi. Shout out 808 Buddha LLC for your guys' repost. I super appreciate it. So while it's jumped over here, I want to warn you, she still has several hurdles to jump. It's got a lot of work to do just to get back up here and continue nuking out some of these shorts that piled in along the way. Here's our 30-day chart. This will show you the real ugliness. Still got $5.4 billion worth of short liquidations and about $75 to $80 million in long liquidations over a 30-day period. Look at all of those shorts spiked up over the curve. Look at those longs spiked up over the curve, back to 104, even 103. And I do have those drawn on the chart right here, those longs that came in, plus the longs from June that are their lowly owned longs that are left down there by themselves, the last of the Mohicans down there. That really, really big punches everything and sort of cements a bear market if the price goes down there. I don't really want to see that, but I didn't think it would spike down as fast as it did, and it did. So it's fully a possibility for that. And you got to admit that it's at a certain point that this very much could be the end of it, and it very much could be the end of the bull run. Here's our week to week. Same time 8 years ago, we were up near the 1618. We're not even at the 1414 now. Same time 4 years ago, we were up near the 1618. We're nowhere near that right now. We're under the 1414 at the 1272. Could you say that there's a couple weeks of sway back and forth here in the whole grand scheme of things? Sure, you could say that there's a couple weeks of sway. Well, it better sway its ass back up because this is rough. This is showing me a topping pattern here. Double top with a big fall down back underneath support into resistance. Looks like a topping pattern. All right, here's our month to month, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024. Technically, you have 10 more days to sway the opinions of myself and many others. And if you can't sway the opinions of myself and many others in 10 days, well, you might be cooked. That being said, it's worth noting, again, are they going to cut rates? If they're going to cut rates, well, that's good for risk assets like crypto. If they're not going to cut rates and they're going to continue to kick the can down the road, or they're going to barely cut rates, well, that ain't going to move the needle good enough for me or many. We saw another giant fall today. KDA, Kadena Chain, shut it down. They're done trying. The devs just gave up.
Come on, man. Bruh. What the hell is even that?
I know, right? Remember when we run KDA nodes back in the day and we're earning passive income and I cut them off for the bear market? Yeah. Remember when all you guys say I'm wrong all the time?
Wrong.
Yeah, I was right about that one, wasn't I? Whoops. Remember those guys who were telling you that if you gave them money, they'll run the nodes for you and they'll make a ton of money, and don't worry about it because they're backed by smart assets. Uh-oh. Now what? Remember those guys who told you that if you go buy a bunch of those nodes, you'll just make your money back and it'll be fine. You don't have to worry about it.
Wrong.
Not looking good for those guys either. And you know who I'm talking about. I don't like to mention names on here because when I start mentioning names, all that does is get people in their feelings. And when people get in their feelings, they lash out. It happens a lot. Something that I've noticed with being a Panthers fan. You guys know I love the Carolina Panthers. The Tar Heels. I'm a Tar Heels fan. Love my Tar Heels. I love my Charlotte Hornets. They're opening days tomorrow. I was going to get tickets and go. Problem is my son has a football game, and I would rather not miss the football game. And since he can't go with me, I kind of don't want to go. So I'm not going to go to Hornets opening night. But to say that I'm not a fan because I disagree with you, or I'm not a fan because I don't like to be in the hopium train of, we're going to win 15 games. Right, let's be realistic. Can we be realistic and be adults? Can we have an adult conversation? Or must you just bash me because you don't like me? So don't think it's just crypto. It's not. It's many, many places where people just full of hopium, and when you hit them with reality, they get upset. You know, I said the Panthers would win 7 or 8 games this year and miss the playoffs narrowly. We've won 4 games. We're about halfway through the season. Not quite halfway through the season. We've won more games than I thought we would. I didn't think we were going to win 3 in a row. Honestly, didn't. So if we can get to 9 wins, we threaten in the playoffs. I don't know. we'll see. We got some tough games coming up. Quarterback's hurt now. So, yeah, it's dicey at best. The point is, people are going to love to shit on you along the way. People are going to love to jump on the train and tell you what you can't do and what you did do and what you didn't do. Bottom line is the charts are still doing what they're doing. Right? We got to stick to what we know, what's objective, the charts. What can we use to make those charts more objective for us? We can use our strategies that we came up with. I like the 821 EMA strategy along with the other moving averages just to help me see where the support and resistance is. And you can see we're under some resistance but over some support. What about the Ichimoku cloud? Ichimoku cloud kind of does the same thing. It's been around for decades is the better thing to say. Decades. It's been around for decades. And what did the price do? Well, it ran right up there and slapped the bottom of the cloud and stopped. You got a red X on the end. That won't get it. Not good enough. Your price is under the cloud. That's not good enough. Your lag line is over the candles. Hey, that's an improvement. Problem. You got your baseline and conversion line are upside down. Your red's over the blue. You want that the other way around. So this is only 1 out of 4 good for Bitcoin. It's going to need some time to catch up. That's what happens when things fall off as rapidly as this thing fell off. It should get stuck. What's up, John Del Ben? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Matoji? He says the chain can continue since it's decentralized as long as people keep mining. We don't care though. The chart looked like shit way before the devs quit. Exactly. When the chart looks like shit, you kind of got to walk away, which speaks to a lot of crypto in general. They're just not going to make it back. We kind of tried to talk about this throughout the wave here of the ups and the downs of how things very well may not come back. And you may see that things just lose it. And it's starting to happen slowly. We'll talk about it more in a moment. Bitcoin underneath the pivot line right there. This one is the pivot line. Hard to see, but it's right there. All right, it's still stuck under it. It's over S1 and S2 though. So it's some support, but under resistance. It's thinking about it, trying to build itself back up. And obviously your R1, R2, and R3 are up there in the liquidation zones. If it's going to liquidate, that's the areas it's going to attack. How about your oscillators? I like the MACD and the RSI. You can fill it up with as many oscillators as you want. They just give us a general idea of what's up. Back in between 40 and 50 RSI again, which is the sweet spot. And it's there again, hanging out, just ranging back and forth. It stayed under 40 for a couple days, but now it's back over. That's a good sign. MACD, really no help. Big, precipitous fall off. You're losing sell volume. You're gaining buy volume, but you still don't have more buyers than sellers yet, which tells you, meh. Maybe let's just wait a little bit. Bollinger Bands. These Bollinger Bands got very wide. Why? Well, because you fell off so fast. That's why. And when price action gets volatile, Bollinger Bands widen up. When price action starts to slow up, again, and price action gets near the midline, again, you'll see these Bollinger Bands start to pinch back in here. And as they pinch in, you're going to build volatility, and we're going to see, do we jump back over those moving averages that are all balled up right here in the way? Or do we just fail those moving averages and go back down again and nuke those shorts out? Because if that happens, yeah, she's cooked. I think that's probably the end if that happens. It may have already been the end, but it's really hard to call the end exactly without having the perfect timing and being a guy who just throws it out there and hopes it gets right. And I don't like doing that. I want to wait till I got some confirmation. You know what I mean? But we've started to get that confirmation over the last few weeks, especially the last couple weeks, that things very well may be done. And if that's the case, we got to walk away, right? I hate that, but it is what it is. So let's jump over. That's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I showed you the week to week, the month to month. Bitcoin dominance. Here's another one, right? Continuing to see Bitcoin dominance fight up and not want to drop off like it did back in the day. It just doesn't seem like it's going to drop off anymore. And I'll pull it up on the daily here so you can see it. Here's the other problem. Bollinger Bands look decent, but she's breaking out again. She's jumping the 100 moving average right now. And as long as Bitcoin dominance goes up, while the price goes up, that's good for Bitcoin, sucks for altcoins. Well, you want Bitcoin price to go up and dominance to go down. That means that money's getting dispersed over into altcoins. And folks, it just ain't happening. It just ain't happening. What we've seen is, for the most part, altcoins got a 3 to 4 month run, and that was it. For the rest of the time, they've been brutally punished. Bitcoin and a couple others had 4 different 3-month waves, but that's it. Only a few got that. And since only a few got that, well, we're stuck. Sup, Thor's Hammer. We have to sit and wait and can't do anything about it. We just have to wait and watch. Mix up, Mr. XRF, good to see you, brother. Bill Childers was something I got brand full. Spinning top today, possibly, or it could just be a normal continuation candle so far. No, that was the first time I saw you say it. Sorry. I try to jump back and forth through all 3 streams here just to get all the comments. While I can put them on the screen, it's kind of hard for you guys to see them. Right there's the chat box. So whatever you guys do say, I do see. I just don't always get to them because they're sometimes hard to see. All right. So let's jump into Ethereum here. So Bitcoin looks better than Ethereum, obviously. You've seen some green. You see an over the 8 exponential moving average. What do we see Ethereum doing? Wicking back and forth after a Doge candle at the top, showing us it very well may want to roll over. It's a lot of traffic here for Ethereum to get through. Not only is it the 821 EMA and the 100 moving average and the 50 moving average above that. If I put the Ichimoku cloud up there, you'll see that it's also in the way, kind of holding the price down a little bit. How about the pivots? That's the pivot point up there. It already tagged at one time on the recovery after the big fall off. And while we could very well have a bottom formation happening, it hasn't worked its way out yet. And it still very well could take longer. Backing out to the weekly, you can see that we're playing around with a the Sniper's Alley level right here at 786, $4,000. Ping-ponging back and forth with $4,000. Can't make its mind up. In the wait a minute zone, weekly, 821 EMA. She's right dead in the middle in the wait a minute zone, which means, you guessed it, wait a minute. Bollinger Bands are extremely wide, but they are trying to narrow in. Do you see that on the weekly? They're trying to narrow in. Maybe they narrow in and we get a move here by the end of the year. I don't know. Daily, wide but narrowing. You can see the price is somewhat near the midline, but not as aggressively as Bitcoin was. Let's check on the oscillators real quick. There you go. RSI just dead sideways cruising at 40. If it can continue to do that and not fall off, you'll see the bands tighten up. And you can see the volatility return potentially in the positive direction. Problem is this is dead sideways. And then your MACD, which is moving average, convergence, divergence with a volume bar in between. You see the sell volume starting to fall off, but you are underneath the midline here. That sucks. And you don't have a positive cross yet. And you don't have more buyers than sellers yet. Warning, this thing could pop up another red candle here because, again, we're kind of stuck under resistance. Even though the weekly's pinned and it's going sideways, it's stuck under resistance for now. And if that's the case, hey, man, this thing very well could just jog sideways and continue to screw everybody over on the way, right? I don't want to see that happen. I want to see you be on your toes, right, and be ready to make a move. And for now, this thing's kind of stuck. Grab something to drink and we'll keep going. By the way, the algorithm is so whack, dude. We'll have 600 people on a stream. All right, now it's 130. It says, oh, speak more proper. And you'll get, the algorithm will pick that up. Speak more proper and nothing. It says don't use hashtags. I don't ever use hashtags. I'll use the money symbol, which it just recently put in there. Does that work or not? Well, if I know, doesn't seem to. I get 1 or 2 or 3 likes per post. I see people pushing hopium get 10,000 likes per post. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. And I can't do anything about it. It's the best part. I can't do a thing about it. Makes you wonder what exactly the algorithm is. And I know it's open source. They give it to you, but I've tried following it. It doesn't seem to matter, dude. Doesn't seem to matter. All right, let's get into Solana for a second. Pull up Solana here. And we'll get to some more in a moment, but I wanted to start with Solana. Ever since failing this trend line right here, back in September 22nd, she really hasn't fully recovered. All it did was give you a bearish back test and then roll over. And now you've got this trend line right here to cope with. And it doesn't really like doing anything so far. I'm going to switch that one to green because that was an uptrend, but it failed. All right, so we can measure back and see how much of a downtrend it made. So start at the bottom up to the top right there, following along with that green trend line. We see right here, she did a perfect 786 retrace. Like to see that. This is a potential reversal level as it's a 786 retrace. Can it retrace though? That's the difference. And when I say retrace, I mean retrace up. So now we can measure in the other direction. We can grab it from the top, pull it down to the bottom. Follow that red trend line that we got right there, which lines out to about December over here. That's where it kind of stops, about December. And so far, we are over the 236 fib, but that's all. In order for this thing to be a trend breakout, we really need to see it cross the 50 fib right here. All right. Has it crossed the 50 fib yet?
Wrong.
Nope, sure hasn't. It's just now crossing the 236. So it's got work to do here to prove it. In fact, there's an even more aggressive trend line right here. Draw it how you want, but it hasn't broken out of that one yet either. And if I put up the 821 EMA, you'll see there, she's struggling to get through the exponential moving averages, the 821 EMA, which are the purple and the green. She's not even in the wait a minute zone yet. She hasn't given you 2 closes over the 8 EMA yet, and you have traffic in the way. 50 moving average lines up with the 50 fib, 100 moving average and the 21 EMA kind of line up with the 382. Even in recovery mode, this thing is going to be slow going. It's just how it is. It sucks, part of the game. Your oscillators, same thing. MACD and RSI aren't really going to be much of a help here. RSI is dead sideways. Here's your MACD. Big sell volume pushed her down into the bearish territory on the bottom half here. Your sell volume is falling off, but you don't have more buyers than sellers yet, and you don't have a positive cross yet. So no help there. All right, pivot points. There's your pivot line. You failed that thing back in the big drop during the exchange mess. You blew through S1 and S2, but since you've recovered and now you're stuck under S1, need to get over that in order to be able to attack that 382 and that 50 fib. And the Ichimoku cloud as well, absolutely no help. You're 4 out of 4 no. Red cloud, lag under, price under, red over blue. That's 4 out of 4, and that won't get you nowhere. So for now, Solana, big fat no. Yeah, bro, appreciate it, Bullish CEO. Go hit like. What's up, Steve Loop? Good to see you. Appreciate it, DeFi Dave 420 with the repost. My man. You guys over on Rumble, if you haven't done so, please go hit like and give us a repost. There's a repost button right beside the like button. And if you guys repost it, you can say, hey, come check out the stream, or hey, come hit like, or hey, TA with charts, whatever. If you look around Rumble, there's really not a lot of people doing it. That's why I do it there. It's mostly people on YouTube, and it's not really a ton of people on X doing it either. That's why I do it on X live. There's some people, but not a lot. So I'm trying to get some new exposure there. You know what I mean? Hopefully people catch on, and hopefully people come watch. I can't make you. All I can do is kind of put the info out there and see if people want to come hang out or not. By the way, it's hoodie season here in the Carolinas. So I'm wearing hoodies on a lot of the streams now. You're wearing the same clothes. Yes. As a matter of fact, I wear the same clothes over and over and over again. I don't like to buy clothes. Go figure. I have one nice suit that I bought before we went to Vegas. I don't have another nice suit. I have church clothes that I wear for church, and then I have the clothes that I wear on the stream. That's pretty much it. I don't really buy a bunch of new clothes, but I love wearing hoodies, especially when it's hoodie weather. We got rain and storms on the way, believe it or not. So I definitely wasn't getting nice clothes on before the stream. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Shoo, I felt that sneeze coming. I was able to catch it beforehand. So let's jump over to everybody's favorite XRP.
Wrong.
I'm just joking. So let's talk about this. So for now, you're still pinned down under several trend lines. I mean, you could say that's one that's pretty easy to see. You could pull that back to that previous high and say that this is a trend line, that I'm wrong. and then we should flip it to log mode, and then you'll have a different look. Fine. I'm here for that too. Fair enough. Under trend is under trend. Look at the oscillators. The MACD, humongous sell-off volume here. But look, the sellers are starting to go away, and you just don't have that more buyers than sellers yet. You don't have a positive cross yet. But there's a ton of ground for this thing to make up and try to work its way back to at least the midline. How's your RSI? Well, you went oversold on Friday. Impressive. Didn't see that coming again.
Damn.
Killing me, dude. Come on. Anyway, back up above 40 now in the RSI, which is our nominal range between 40 and 50. That's just sideways price action. All right, so pulling up the moving averages. So your 821 EMA will be the purple and the green. As you see, this will be the second close over the 8 EMA. Nice, nice. If you're using the Reaper strategy, which is here, it's telling you 8 EMA buy. That'd be 2 closes over the 8 right there. Interesting. That's 1/3 of what we're looking for. What do we need after that? Well, we need a price to jump over that 21 EMA. 2 closes in a row. That would be awesome. And that'll help us get our 821 EMA cross. That'll be our second go signal. But we don't have that yet. And the third would be the 50 moving average, which is way up there. And we haven't had a positive flag on that since October 1st, which was a head fake. As soon as it got over right there, boom, failure. As soon as it got over right here, boom, failure, boom, failure, boom, failure. Head fake, head fake, head fake, over and over and over again. So while things have improved here on the XRP home front, it's still not good enough. We're under the 200 moving average. Remember me earlier in the stream saying that's sort of our bear bull line, which is the red line that you see right here. That's the 200 daily moving average. 200 days averaged up and divided by the price. That needs to be above the price. It's not. It's below it, right? I'm sorry. It needs to be below the price. It's above it. We need the price over that red line. It's not there yet. Sucks. Ichimoku Cloud. What in the hell is that?
What the hell is even that?
I know. Really, really funky Ichimoku Cloud, but that was because of the very, very big drop-off that happened on that Friday move when the exchanges had all the issues. But take away that, and still you don't have what you want here. You do have a green cloud. That's one good thing. You do have the blue over the red. That's 2 good things. That's the conversion line and the baseline. Good. You want the conversion line, the blue line, over the baseline. That's nice. But then comes the other 2 problems. Is the price over the cloud or under? It's under. Is the lag line over the candles or under them? It's under. So you don't exactly have what you need right there for the Ichimoku Cloud. You got 2 out of 4, not good enough. How about the pivot points? S1, S2, S3 are all support lines. You failed S1, S2, S3, but you got back over S3 here recently. You've since then bounced off of it. That's nice. Need to hold the line here and prove it. Okay, I'd like to see it hold the line and prove it. As far as what else can we look at here? We already did the cloud. We did the Ichimoku Cloud pivots. Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands got very wide there for a moment because it fell off so fast. It did jump back inside the Bollinger Bands there, which is good, which typically means it's going to work back toward the trend line, the midline right there, and it did. It's working back its way now. Starting to pull down on the cloud, and you're starting to pull down on the bands, and you're starting to see a slow slope right here where this is starting to even out. If this thing can go sideways a little more and you can get price action to roll up with it, you'll see the bands start to retighten. Or if you get price action to jump over this midline right here, you'll start to see these Bollinger Bands tighten up even more, and we can get back that positive volatility that we want. On another note, all I hear about is how bullish this asset is because of this and that and that and this and this and that. And yet, price goes down and sideways. What gives? Again, maybe your narrative doesn't exactly work. Do you guys remember? Let me know if you remember. The old dude who was British, who was showing up on all the Hopium channels. What we're going to have is the quantum financial system run right along with the normal financial system, and you'll have the quantum system being tested, and it'll be using the XRP ledger. And they'll be flipping the switch momentarily. And yippee, I've bought several pence worth. I remember him all over the streams everywhere, talking about how bullish XRP was and how high we were going to go. And that we were going to go to $10,000 because of this, because that's just how the math works out. And yet, here we are, fighting with $3. But there was a time when we were much lower. Do you guys remember that? Let me pull that up real quick. Let me show you. Come, I'll show you. All right, if you guys remember back many moons ago, I had this box marked as the buy zone area, saying, hey, watch out. I think this thing's going to bottom out right here, and we're going to get a buy zone. Sure as shit, bing. Off she goes and up she runs into the trend line. And I said, watch out. It's going to slow down, but then we'll hit this box that we call go time. Bing, we hit that box and it was go time. And we shot up just like I told you was going to happen. I said, watch out. We're about halfway done. Things slow down at that point. And I even drew a line right here to say, we hit this line, show's probably over. We are rapidly approaching show's probably over line. And I'll go back in history a little bit. Nuh-uh, Keith, you're just making all that up.
Wrong.
I'm not making it all up. Look, buy zone, same spot. Broke the trend line. Go time. Just like I drew back there. Go time. Halfway done. One more push. Show is over. We didn't get our one more push. Yeah, we did get one more push right there. I took that line off. I should have left it on there. We did get our one more push, but the show is almost over here, right? You better get off your ass and get moving. Oh, Keith, that's just a coincidence.
Wrong.
Here's the same spot. This is 2016. Same spot. Buy zone. Jump the trend. Go time. Up she goes. Halfway done. One more push. Delayed it. And then right before the show is over, look what happened. That thing sprinted for that 4-week time frame right there in December. So, is it wrong to say it's over? Possibly. Is it wrong to say she's cooked and she's done? Possibly. Is it right to say it's over? It's cooked, it's done? Possibly. We might have one more push in this thing, but it better get off its ass because we are running out of time. You can't sit here and do nothing for so long and expect the buyers to stick around. That's not how it works. This thing still has the same cycle. I've talked about it before. Here it is. Same exact cycle. You cannot deny it. You can argue about it all you want, but this thing is side by side by side by side. The last four times we've had a very similar parabola, right? We're going to run out of time. Bitcoin is still the king. As long as Bitcoin's the king, we have to be careful. You very much could fail here. Warning, keep your eyes on it. I got mine in. I'm waiting for my confirmation to get out or stay in. I've got to watch and see here, all right? I'm hoping we go up too. I'm on this with you, fellas. I'm not on your shit list. I'm on your team, I promise. All right. So, all that being said, I went through multiple coins here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Let's jump through some top assets real fast. I just want to skim over them. S&P 500 continues to run pretty hot, all the way up at 671. You're approaching the previous high, about to make a new all-time high. That's badass of it. NASDAQ, same thing. Look at that thing, man. NASDAQ risk on, new all-time high and still pushing. Dow Jones, new all-time high, backside of the trend line, so be careful here, but it's at a new all-time high. Tesla, fighting for a new all-time high, still hasn't quite got it. Needs to run up there to the inauguration shorts. I'm in Tesla. Are you? Google, she's made a hell of a push recently. Up here in the tip top area at the take profit fib, she's down a little bit. Post market, but still hanging on. United Healthcare continues its push. Warren won't give up. A couple others of note. Coinbase continues to struggle along sideways here, following Bitcoin really. MicroStrategy was a buyer yesterday. They're a buyer almost every Monday, but look, it's still underneath resistance, but over some support, so sideways. Worth noting that the dollar index continues to try to fight back. Can't quite get over the hump yet. But look, 821 cross north on the weekly. Be careful. That's why I say this could be over. If the dollar runs up, risk assets can continue to go down if they would like. And here's the Russell 2000 that people say is 1-to-1 with crypto. Look at this thing's a new all-time high and still going while crypto flounders, especially altcoins. So be careful out there. Last but not least, gold. Gold sold off $1.4 trillion worth today alone. Now, it took back about 200 million of that before closing, but it opens back up here in 30 minutes and they'll be right back after it again. That big move up only took one candle to cancel a lot of money, but that was a hell of a run, and it still might not be over. Keep your eyes on it, right? Now, this obviously is a topping formation, and she obviously failed the EMA on the daily. But on the weekly, she's still all right. It could just be a breather, right? Careful. You're going to see a lot of people say that money's flowing from gold to Bitcoin, from gold to crypto. We don't have any evidence of that at all. Be careful with the bullshit. Try to filter it out the best you can. Thank you all for being here and watching. I appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me. That's pretty cool. Love you, and I appreciate it. We had about 200 people on this time. We usually have 600 to 800 to almost 1,000. We had 200 this time. I don't make the rules. Nonetheless, thank you either way. Let's make the best of our todays, the worst of our tomorrows. Try to have a better day than we had yesterday, right? We've had that for the last couple of days. Let's try to keep that vibe going. And last but not least, Keith always says, and Keith means it. No one else told you today. Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Thank you, fellas. If you feel like it and you are so inclined and you want to join a group of people who care about each other and who are there for each other and who talk about this stuff 24/7, nonstop, 365, wap.com/team786. First month is free. Then it's half off. If you don't want to, you don't ever have to pay $1. You can leave whenever you want. You can get a refund if you don't feel like you got what you got. It's fine. I don't mind. Come hang out with people who care if you so wish. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next stream. Sky's the limit. I'm out. I'm going to get my kid from football practice. Y'all be good. It's starting to rain. I'm out. Peace.